Hey everybody, Rhadamant here. Thanks for tuning in to episode 40 of the Blacklight Settler series. So before I get going, I wanted to thank everyone for voting. We got record voter turnout, and here's how your votes went. Improve the kill box, find a mining colony, set up a mining colony, and make Four Eyes bionic. If you're curious about the total votes and the vote counts and all that data, it will be up on Rhadamant.com or Discord. So let's get going. Last episode, we left off with the Night Owls over here to set up a mining hunting, or not mining, but a hunting camp. So we'll continue that. Let's do some of their work. Knack here is going to be our hunter, not Dano. And then Endelos is going to be the cook, not Chris. Then Endelos and Chris will also mine. We're going to start mining the steel to make a steel community, and then any of the compacted machinery that I can find. And we'll set up a little community here. Also, this has boomalopes, so I should send a animal tamer down here. So, Penguin does animal taming. He's also a really good candidate to send because he has pretty good construction as well. Okay, so that part's done. As for tips, Slippery Orca and Poppy mentioned that I should set up my trade stockpile the way I did in Desert, and I'll get to that. But also, we should recruit Four Eyes, because Four Eyes is set to become bionic, so we'll start treating her right for once. Then I need a long-range mineral scanner to find a mining colony. So we'll get that going. What else? What else? Food. So for the cannibal here, I'm going to allow NPM in the meantime, because these cannibals are getting very hungry. And then some tips. Mistro mentioned that my work restrictions are very unproductive, so I'm going to fix that. Anyone with really bad mood I can set to pure recreate, but everyone else is going to have this hybrid recreate and, hybrid recreate anything. And that also rings true over here. And then Red Hacker mentioned that I ought to create a new zone. I'm trying to find a nice red color. Come on, give me your red. You're killing me. For cannibalism. That's close enough. And what I'll do is I'll paint it here and invert it. And then also do safe haven and remove this. And then pet zone. So this, when animals are allowed to pet zone, they'll be able to eat bodies, and then everyone else minus 0 day will get restricted to cannibal, so they don't enter this kitchen. And 0 day will be able to go into the kitchen, no problem. And he'll also be able to, let's see, cannibal, corpses, human-like, strangers. We'll allow rotten too. He'll be happy and vomiting. That's fine by me. Alright, Endelos and Knack. So Knack here is going to hunt something nearby. These wild boar. And Endelos will start stockpiling. Also, I'm going to need some wood. Mad wood. Oh, that sounds wrong. So Chris was our planter here, or cutter. And now that I have a little bit of steel, I can start laying out the footprint of my colony here. So what I'll do is Probably don't need 3 of them. Okay, and I can expand that if I want. I'm going to forbid this for now. And that will be our sort of colony. And we'll put a double bed for Vex and Dano. And then we have what? 3 others? 4 others. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. All right, let me readjust this. The double bed, a wooden table, and then a single bed, and then 2 more sets. That doesn't really work. Trying to stuff it all in here. Double bed is for Dano Vex. A single bed. A single bed. And that will have to work. So this is for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's how many people will be in this community. Perfect. And then I'm going to forbid all the end tables for now because they're not super important. But we'll also put in a dresser. Forbid that as well. And then we will put in a wood table. And some stools for it. And eventually some recreation. Wood chests. Recreation like this. And okay. And this will be a stockpile. Yep. All right. That's a good layout. I can get behind that. Okay. Back to here. What can we be doing here? Hunting, mostly. Constructing this long-range mineral scanner. New recruit, 4 Eyes. I want 0 Day to rescue 4 Eyes, trying to get the cannibals, maybe start a relationship, I don't know. 4 Eyes here is going to get set to cannibal food. And then she's also going to change her name to Poppy after one of the patrons. Alright, you guys are getting pretty hungry, so steel butcher table and temporarily a campfire. Who can construct here? Chris, you will construct. Endelos is just delivering. We will desperately need food immediately. So I have him hunting the boars just because they're close and they'll be easy to hunt. But there's a lot better animals here. There are some boomalopes that will tame. And then there's eventually muffalo and gazelle and all that stuff that will hunt. So we'll set up a bill to cook fine meals until we have, let's call it 5. And I'll start delivering steel to where we want it built. Endelos. Now let's set up a butcher forever. I'm just grabbing them to prevent them from eating anything they'll regret. And Penguin got here, and he'll start to help to construct like crazy. Alright, so at least we have a little bit of food. And bulk goods trader walking into absolutely the wrong place. I love it. And I don't want to cut into Overhead Mountain, but it looks like we're good so far. Now, I do have auto doors here. I'm going to need a source of power. That sounds creepier than I intended it. So this will eventually be our power, and then let me see if I can't from memory. Nope, I was a little off. Concrete it up so that nothing can grow underneath. Now, ideally, I want the area to be all bedroomed up or whatever. Where is Dano? Could you go mine over here? And they're all sleeping on the floor already. Oh, the perils of being an L. Okay, a bunch of tribe. What the hell? Okay, well, this is quite a raid. This is like all hands on deck kind of raid. So these guys need to run like crazy. At least it's tribals again. If it was pirates, that might be a death stack. I've actually been having this conversation in Discord with my patrons about more or less the fact that that the challenge that we have here is, I don't want to use the word unwinnable, but I'm going to use the word unwinnable. And the reason for it is the way that raid difficulties are calculated are heavily weighted towards, where's Trekintosh? Heavily weighted towards, oh Jesus, Trek, why are you all the way down there? That's not good. I have you walk this way. Wow, I don't know what you were doing down here, but hunting turkey, but boy, you really took yourself out of the fight. So as I was trying to say before I interrupted myself, is the way that the raids are weighted is that the amount of colonists that you have are massively weighted towards giant raids. So as a result, what we end up having is a situation where the amount of raiders that we encounter are almost unmanageably large, which is why this scenario, as much as I love it, has somewhat of a tight expiration date, I think, personally. Not to say that I am defeatist. I'm going to fight this out tooth and nail as hard as I can. But I say that because there is a limit to the amount of raids I'll be able to defend from. And I've been discussing with the patrons about this because inevitably there will come a time where I get a mech raid that I can't thwart or defeat or something like that. There will be a point where I will find the numbers I'm facing overwhelming. Hopefully it's not soon, but it could be, is I guess what I'm trying to say. Alright, CC, you were here for rescue purposes, I guess. And you guys are going to just kind of hang out here. Oh, did not see you there. Goat Chaser. Yeah. Okay. So you have a shield belt, no weapon. 0 day is on a shoot frenzy. So ideally, once they sort of commit to the... Are you sapping? What kind of raid was this? Raid relationship. Ah, they want to use sappers. Alright, alright. That changes a lot. Alright, where is your sap point? Here? I like how they're having a social fight. Okay, this dramatically changes the way we'll fight this raid. Alright, Chemisia. So the snipers here are going to stand back a little bit. Sniper rifles are actually not all that accurate at super close range. The assault rifles are going to choke up. Oh, this is so stupid. Why couldn't you show up to the other place? That would be a lot more helpful. Are you sure you want to pop that wall? I mean, it's up to you, but I think that's going to hurt more than help. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. Mr. Leth, where are you? Alright. Now, luckily for me, sapper raids tend to be smaller than normal. Wolf here, I'm going to have him fire deeper into the crowd so that I have a lot more collateral. Alright, you are already getting stabbed up pretty good, so I'm going to have you back up, and Leth, you'll take his place. Alright, they're moving around so much, it's hard to even get a target on them. Alright, Nara's down. Animals. Go to barracks. At this point, they're sapping another hole. Bob's out here. I don't know why. I didn't really see that. Alright, Jarrett is going to try to rescue. Now, let's bring out some back-capping ambush. See how they're like their sappers being sapped. I've got Bob here screwing with their sapper. Alright. Nara. You both are bleeding out at the same rate. Alright, now for some true and honest mayhem. Wolf and Trek and Zero. You guys. We're going to set up a firing line if we're able. Oh god, friendly fire. Okay, good. He's very accurate as a meleeer. Our meleeers are going to take a knee here. because they're already pretty wounded. So I'm going to have them back up. Some of the meleeers. The unwounded meleeers, not so much. Okay. Let's move the shooting death blob over here. They're inside, so we'll just follow them. Come on. Are you here to sap or to fight? I don't know what they're doing, but I'll just keep following them. All right, while we're at it, just to make them flee, yes, I realize this is pretty evil, but they will flee once their death numbers hit a certain amount. So I'm just trying to trigger that death count. And if you want to stand there, you can stand there. That's fine. Alright, so we have the minigunners kind of up in front. Gonna have Griffin back up. Oh, shite. Alright, let's fix Leth here. I didn't realize he was that bad off. Now they're fleeing. Menmi, tend to him. Give them a little treat on their way out. And you guys go the other way. Nope, other way. 14, 20... Ooh, missing an eye, though. It's not good for a minigunner. Alright, now as they all blob up against the door here. Y'all get what's coming to you. Alright, yes. Leth has been saved. Oh boy. Now for triage. Numbers. Go to medical preset. And bleed rate. And that way we can see who needs the most health. So I think at the moment it's Menmi. And what I'll do is temporarily set up a larger hospital. We came away from that. Actually, Camisea has a quicker bleed rate. And I'm going to tend my own wounded before I try to help the potential prisoners. This is because I can't screw over my own people, you know? I'll get to them, though. Alright, DQ, where are you? I'll let you finish eating. I feel like you're fine. I don't even know why you're poopy. I think you're going to be needed in here. Bob, you too. This is quite the triage tent I've got going on. How are you guys doing? I have no idea. I can't even. I can't even. I'm sorry. Whatever's happening over there, it's just the way it is. All right, we need even more triage beds. And even more. Nice. This hospital's looking good. Back to the numbers tab, and what is this? Health, bleed rate. So Camissia is really the only one bleeding all that fast. And she's getting patched up now. Well, that was crazy. Absolutely, positively crazy. So we have one empty bed here. So we're going to need to add some more beds. Somehow or another, we only ended up with like a few holes in the walls, which is a crazy sort of crazy little amount of problems. So capture 3 hours. Let me look. 4 hours. All right, so let's capture some, but I'm going to prioritize the ones that are likely to survive. And if you're wondering why I murdered the people that were downed, it was because human raiders will flee when they've lost 50% of their count. So yes, I was doing that. I don't know if it's murder or just knock down, but I was doing that in hopes that I would cause them to flee sooner. Not that I didn't want the prisoners. It was purely 100% survival mechanic. And not me trying to cheese and not have more prisoners. So I'm saving a Gramond Abrasive Undergrounder, Misandrous Kind, and Chemical Fascination Kind Undergrounder. I'll try to save them all, but we're going to prioritize saving my own people because I was fatally bleeding out as well. So here we go, capturing the 3 survivors. Looking around, I don't think there's anyone else. There's some that are exiting, but they're going to exit. All right. So anyone... Oh yeah, you were waiting on an operation. Anyone that's fully patched up is going to get kicked out and their beds removed. Because their own beds back at home are definitely going to be better than the beds here. Oh, well, sucks to be Leth. Yeah, I don't care. Died of cold, yeah, I get it. Moro. Rescue Leth. Alright, we're patching up some of the prisoners, and I'll attempt to recruit the ones that got rescued. This prisoner, I am going to reduce resistance because he has an addiction that I don't want to... Yeah, that I don't want. Let's feed Poppy. And actually, Wolf, let's operate on Poppy. Uh-oh. Murderous Rage, trying to kill Leth. Leth's already unconscious. What the hell? Someone with a melee. Actually, let's just bash her down. I don't want to arrest her. Donk. Wasn't that hard. She was already wounded. So I have a Poppy and a Poopy. That's going to be a little hard to keep track of. But I'm out of time. So that's it for this episode. I did get the long-range mineral scanner up and running. So kind of working on it. I am in the process. I'm about to install Bionics into Poppy. So I'm working on that as well. I just want to recap while rolling the credits out that, yes, the scenario here is somewhat of a no-win. I really don't think that there is a good way to get to the amount of pawns without causing raids that are going to lock up my CPU. There are ways to cheese it, but I don't really want to cheese it. I want to attempt a good faith, full-hearted attempt at the challenge that you all voted for without figuring out nasty workarounds. I know of a lot of nasty workarounds that could get me there, but it's just not that much fun trying to skirt the rules. So I'm not skirting them. But with that in mind, my guess is there's probably only maybe a week's worth of Black Lake at most that I'll be able to record, given that I think the next pirate raid or mech raid is probably going to be lights out. Maybe not necessarily. Maybe I can figure out a solution to survive those, but keep that in mind. Regardless, I really, really appreciate how everyone voted. I love the voter turnout that I had, so I wanted to thank you all deeply for the fact that you turned out in droves for the voting. And like I said, if you're interested in the voting data, it will be posted up online, Rhadamant.com or Discord. Thank you all for tuning in. It was my absolute pleasure to bring this crazy episode to all of you. Adios.